Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards have to tell us about the energies for the week ahead. I hope that everybody had a wonderful weekend, and for those of you that were in the path of that storm, I hope you all managed to stay warm and dry. And that you're all doing okay. Thank you to everybody who's joining me for the live. Okay, so we are starting with the Clarifying Life Situations Oracle, one of my MahrukhX decks, and I'm just going to get a couple more and then we'll have a look at what's going on. Sometimes I have to sit and think about which cards I'm going to use for any given reading. And can I tell you, today I walked over to my cupboard and I knew immediately the cards were just like, it's me. So I feel like there is a very clear message that wants to come out. What that is, I don't know yet. I want one more. Okay, so the first card out is momentum. Keep the momentum going, whether big or small steps. Keep pushing for what you want. Fast, haste, charging ahead. Then we have unlikely source. Wonderful things can happen in everything around you, even from some of the most unexpected sources. Unexpected, unconsidered. Then we have creative forces. Your creativity is endless. The creative power you hold within is far greater than you realize. Artist, inspiration, innovative. Imbalance. There is an unequal power dynamic in a situation that needs to be brought back to balance. Unequal, unfairness, and conflict. Okay, so we have just had Neptune move into Aries, which I know there are some astrologers saying it's great. There are others that are talking about how it can be a little bit tougher. For me, as an Aries sun, and this is all happening in my 10th house, for me, it feels great. I feel like I can breathe again, being lost in these final degrees of Pisces, and we still have Saturn sitting there. Saturn isn't ingressing into Aries until we're in February. But for me, I have felt in the days leading up to it that things are finally starting to move. And I think when those big outer planets are moving signs, even though it means the energy is going to shift and there's challenges with every single planetary placement that we have, I think that sometimes we need that shift to keep the momentum going. So for me personally, I felt that momentum starting to build. My first interview of 2026 dropped, what time is it? An hour ago. It's all about a new AI learning platform, super exciting. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that is lined up and sort of ready to go. And this is a different feeling that I've had in the last few years. There's been a lot of self-reflection over the last few weeks specifically. It was running into some old friends and having conversations with them and realizing that as frustrated as I was with the last few years, there was a reason behind it and there was a journey that I was going on. And I feel like I'm coming out of that. So I think that momentum is sort of happening for a lot of us, that we're moving through this feeling of being stuck. And I think a lot of that has to do with those last degrees of Pisces where they're just going, oh, I feel like this isn't moving, but I feel like it's finally starting to move. And if it hasn't happened yet, there are things that are going to come up from places that you were not expecting, whether it be an opportunity or, I don't know, even just a social night out, somebody coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, do you want to come and do this with me? And all of a sudden you look at this person and go, I wouldn't have thought of calling you to go out or going on this adventure, and there it is. So I think that the momentum is going to come for each of us in different ways. For me, it's happening with work, and I think that's because I've spent the last few years getting so many other things in my life set up. So I've created this incredible foundation for myself so that I was then able to focus and sort of do what I need to do now with, I'm going to have both obviously Neptune and Saturn in my 10th house, and moving over my son and doing all of that. But I think for all of us, if it's that same energy that's affecting us, it's going to depend on which house all of this is happening for you. But like I said, it could be a social thing if you've been hermiting because you've needed to take time out and you have needed to just have that time away from the world to sort of collect yourself or heal or reflect or whatever it is you've needed to remove yourself for. I feel like now this momentum is going to shift and help you sort of start to move forward. And what I would say is be open to how these things come in. And often things will surprise you. I keep thinking about when I came out of my abusive relationship and I finally started talking, I finally started telling people what was going on and opening up, which was so incredibly difficult, at least in the beginning, because I was so embarrassed and there was so much shame. But people around me and people that I wouldn't have thought I could reach out to, people that I didn't think really cared or thought that much about me, started going, hey, let's do this or let's do that. And it completely changed my friendships. And there were people that I thought would have been there that just weren't. And then people that were always sort of there on the periphery. We had a great relationship, but they weren't there in a meaningful way or in a big way. And they kind of stepped forward. And so I would say right now, as all these shifts are happening, especially with the astrology, but just in our lives, be open to what is presenting itself. And you know what? Have a week of saying yes. Say yes to these weird random opportunities that come up because they might be exactly what you need. Your creativity is endless. I don't know if you've been feeling a little bit stuck and like your creativity is blocked, but I think you have to trust what's coming up and actually go with it. If you go to a dance class and it's really funny, a card jumped out as I was saying this, and it's breaking molds. Break boundaries, erase all identifications, anything which fixes you permanently into one mold. No way, different, unique. Okay, so the fact that this has come out at this time, what I was going to say when that card jumped out was, like, I'm having visions of going to a dance class that you wouldn't normally go to. And I mean, I get images that are relevant to me because then it relates to my experiences so I can get the message across. But I'm thinking, going to a dance class where it's almost, I want to say interpretive dance, but where you're just moving to the rhythm and you're doing things that you wouldn't do if you were on the dance floor of a club or at a wedding or at a party or something like that. And you're just letting your body move. Whatever it is that the creative force is trying, in how it's trying to express itself, let it happen. If it means you need to paint, do that. I recently just crocheted another blanket because I got the urge, and I've created this beautiful rainbow blanket that is huge and wonderful to snuggle up under on the couch on those cold nights. So whatever it is, I feel like there needs to be this outlet in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, I'm talking about dance and crocheting and art, but whatever it is that works for you, that makes you feel like you're expressing yourself, tap into that. And do break the molds, both creatively, but also in life. If you are being pigeonholed and put in a spot that doesn't sit well with you, you can change that. you can say, this is not who I am. I get that that's how you perceive me, and that's great, but no, that's not it. So make sure that you are being true to who you are. And if they are perceiving you wrong, or they think you only belong in that box, maybe it's a work thing. Yeah, push back, say, no, this is what I'm capable of, and this is what you have to allow me to do. Now, the imbalance card came out. I am going to pull one more from this deck. The imbalance card came out, and so is something out of balance within your life. This could be a relationship, it could be your work-life balance, it could be something in your relationship, but there is an element here that is not in harmony, not in balance, and you have to pay attention to that. So it may be time where you actually have to face what is going on and go, okay, we have to correct this now. This just needs to shift. The interesting thing is, I said I'm going to pull one more card, and the partnership card came out. So a significant relationship is about to be forged, that will assist you in expanding your growth, collaboration, support, and union. Okay, so this can be, we can look at this two ways. Is the imbalance happening in your partnership? Because again, that's what I was talking about when this card jumped out. The other part of this is, there's somebody new stepping in, and they are going to be the support that helps you sort out the imbalance. So there is something relating to your partnership, but I think the bigger focus here is whatever is out of balance, it's now time to recalibrate and get this back in balance. And maybe that is because it's time to break those molds. If somebody is there putting you in this box and you're like, no, and this is what's creating the imbalance, fix it. Just fix it. So yeah, I think that it's a really good week in terms of we're getting our momentum back. We're starting to move. We're now in the last week of January. On Sunday, the 1st of February, actually, Anne and I are doing an episode of Gemini Rising on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We have a fellow high viber joining us, and we're going to be talking about her business, making crystal jewelry, all of this, but also she and her husband and their children live in an incredible place in Hawaii. I have been there. They're planting trees, and they're essentially living off the grid, and it's incredible. And we're going to be talking about all of that. So that's happening on Sunday, but it's also the 1st of February. So we're already a month into this year. And so we're starting to get our feet, and we're starting to go, okay, the year is happening. Let's get to it. That's all going on. I think you need to be really open to where opportunities are coming from. And if it is an unlikely source, even better, just go with it, because you have no idea what's on the other side of that. I do think we need to tap into our creativity, and that's going to help us express and move through some of the stuff that we have going on. And, it's time to break molds. It's time to stop accepting how people see you in this world. And it's time for you to step forward and go, this is who I am. I know you don't think I'm capable of this, but I know that I am. And this is how I want to proceed, and start doing that. And there is an imbalance. And again, that imbalance, only you know where that's happening in your life, whether it be relationship, business, family. Maybe you're just burning the candle at both ends, but it is time to correct that. And there is a partnership element in this, that a significant relationship is about to be forged that will assist you in expanding your growth. So whatever this relationship or partnership is, and again, it doesn't need to be romantic. It can be a business relationship. It can be a great friendship that comes in and just grounds you and helps you keep your sanity. Because I know I couldn't live without my girlfriends. I know that if I am unavailable for them at certain moments, they call me and go, oh my God, I need you. Like, we need to talk. We need to figure this out. So these friendships can be incredibly important. So there is a very special partnership that is being forged this week. Okay, so we are moving on to the messages from Spirit Oracle. I'm pulling 3, but it's interesting when I was talking about partnership just now, there is a card that jumped out. I'm going to just pull these other two. Okay. So connection came out while I was talking about partnership. So it's a very strong theme of this week: bonding, union, and collaboration. The divine is conspiring to help you achieve unity through a partnership, friendship, or a collaboration within a community, and like-minded souls who meet you with authenticity. So confirmation of everything that I was just saying. There is a connection of some sort that is coming through this week that is going to help you. And that community of like-minded beings could be through whatever creativity or any way you're creatively wanting to express yourself. I made some lifelong friends when I first started dancing years ago. I've got some girlfriends over here that I've become incredibly close to when I started training at a couple of different studios, and every day I'm grateful for them. It's just, I don't know. We're all very different people, but there is a connection and there is an understanding, and there is something about this bond of dancing together. Then we have cosmic influence, karmic debt, divine plan. You cannot change outer astrological forces, but you have the power to transform by delving deep into your divine essence and uncover the inner strengths needed to transcend all karmic realities. We all come to this earth with karma that we have to play out, karmic debts that we have to pay, that have to be collected. And the reality is, the astrology, we can have some really horrible transits. We just can. And I am not a fatalist. I truly believe that one of the beautiful things that we have available to us as humans is that we can look at a really shitty transit and go, okay, this is going to suck, but I can do this. You've survived all of the tough transits before this. You will survive all the ones that are coming. And the reality is, there is a silver lining to everything that happens. It may suck as we're going through something, but we are okay. And it's how we navigate this. It is the attitude with how we move through this. I realize there are some people that would disagree with my logic here, but I can only share my logic and how I approach life. And for me, that's it. What did I have? I think I had Chiron conjunct my sun, and it happened 3 times. And I remember having someone look at my chart and they said, how are you okay? Like, how are you okay with where life is, all of that? And I was like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm doing okay. Things have sucked a little, but I'm okay. On the 3rd pass, that was when I lost my beautiful Bumble. At the exact moment that the transit was exact, the conjunction was exact, was the moment that I lost Bumble, literally the moment. And it was awful, and I wish that hadn't have happened. But to the end of my days, I will be grateful that I had that dog for the amount of time that I did. Those 3.5 years were so wonderful and so filled with laughter. And, we just did life together, and we went on adventures and all of this. And if that was what was destined, that's okay. And I've made it through, and I'm doing things, and Bumble is always in the conversations of everybody in my life. And we share memories and photos and stories and all the wonderful things, and we have to continue. And I mean, that's an extreme look at it, but the reality is, we're all going through stuff. There are huge changes to our society that are going on because of the transits that we have, because all of these big outer planets are shifting. And this is about how we move through it. So just know that if you're going through it, so is everybody else around you at the moment. This isn't about the personal planet. So you're going to be okay. Then we have red flags. Caution, stop, not now. Appearances can be deceiving. Before making a commitment to a relationship or situation, pump the brakes. Examine closely and gather more information to truly understand the situation. So this whole reading, I've talked about this partnership and this connection and all of this. To me, this is just more of a warning to not just leap at the first thing that presents itself. If you get that offer from an unlikely source, just take a moment and go, okay, this is great. Yeah, let me have a look at it. I'll get back to you. And you may find that's not the one. The universe does like to test us. So I don't think that the red flag is oh my God, stop, don't do anything. I think it's more just be cautious as you're moving into this, especially as we're going through huge shifts in our personal lives. It's very easy to just get caught up and go, oh my God, yes. So I've obviously talked a lot, if you've been watching me for a little while, about the abusive relationship that I got into. One of the reasons why I was the perfect person for him to pick was I had just come out of my marriage. There wasn't a whole lot of support for me because everybody thought my ex-husband was wonderful, and he was, but it wasn't a good marriage. Anyway, I came out of that and I knew that there wasn't anything more I could have done to save the marriage. However, I was also aware that there were things that I could have and should have done differently. And I wanted to better who I was. And so I was doing some really intense therapy, and I was working on myself, and I was doing all the things. It was great. But I was also so eager to change parts of myself that instead of being allowed to go on that journey on my own and discover it, I allowed this man in who started picking me apart. And it was sort of little picks at first, and he picked. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger until in the end I was like, hang on, I am not this terrible person that he was making me out to be. So my point is that if you are in this state of movement and change and these things are presenting themselves, you do have to be in a place of saying yes, but take your time to say yes. Take time to sit with it and figure out if this is the way to move forward. And it may be a really strong yes. I'm just saying take time. So we're finishing off with one card from the Gordon Smith, the Healing Spirits Oracle. I just felt like we were all in a space where we probably needed healing versus shadow work. So inner space and universal knowledge. I think this is a moment where, while everything is shifting and moving, and there is a lot in this reading that is about the outer world, this is where we need to go within and we need to think about it. And again, I think it goes perfectly with what we were just saying about the red flags, in that this is a moment to sit and reflect, because our bodies actually know a lot more than we sometimes give it credit for, or sometimes more than we listen to, in that there are moments when you meet somebody and you have a physical reaction, either great, where you're just like, hi, or it's terrible. And you just go, oh, don't like this person. And at different times, we've all been convinced that the good feeling isn't so good, or the bad feeling, no, we're crazy, everybody else loves this person. But our body is going, no, 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 run. So just make sure you go within and listen to that knowledge that's coming through. I do want to pull one more. Universal love is true love, so love all. I think this is a week to be patient with yourself, and to also, if things are out of balance, especially in relationships, and you're moving away from things, I think you can love them and respect them and honor who they are and the relationship that you had as you move off. Same with business partners, friendships, all of that. You can love everybody, but still know that you need to move on and honor what it is that you need. I hope that this reading resonated with some of you, if not all of you. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person. Thank you to everybody who joined me on the live, to the high vibers. I'm really sorry that this isn't going up immediately, but I am off to a dance class because I need to express my creativity, and I will get it all posted once I am back. And of course, make sure you're following all the Gemini rising social media pages, so that you can see when our next episodes are, but the next one is Sunday, 1st of February, 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I look forward to seeing you then. And also on that Sunday, I will be posting the monthly Oracle Wisdom for February. Have a great week, everybody.